Namaste students, I hope you all are fine. So today we will start with a new chapter, that is how do organisms reproduce. So first of all, what is reproduction? What is reproduction? Reproduction means the production of new organisms from the pre-existing organisms of the same kind, and this is known as reproduction. But what is the need for the reproduction? What is the need for the reproduction? So that to maintain the life over the earth. To maintain life over the earth. So that's why reproduction that is necessary. Now there are two types of the reproduction. There are two types of reproduction. The first, that is asexual reproduction, and the second one, that is sexual reproduction. Now what is the difference between the two, asexual reproduction and the sexual reproduction? Like here, A means absent. A means absent here. Okay. And here sex cells. Sex cells means asexual means that the sex cells that are absent in case of the asexual reproduction, and in case of the sexual reproduction, sex cells that are present. Sex cells that are present in case of the sexual reproduction. So what will be the difference here? So the two main differences between the asexual and the sexual reproduction that are that in case of the asexual reproduction, the sex cells means the gametes that are absent, and in case of sexual reproduction, the sex cells also known as the gametes that are present. Okay, and here, because as the sex cells means the gametes involvement that are not there, so that's why only one parent is involved, and in case of the sexual reproduction, two parents that are involved. Two parents that are involved, and they produce the sex cells means the gametes. Now what are the gametes here? In case of male, the male produces the sperm, and the female, they produces the ovum. Okay, so these are the gametes, means sperm that are produced by the male and the ovum that is produced by the female parent. Okay, so these are the two differences between the asexual and the sexual mode of reproduction. Now next we will discuss about the types of the asexual reproduction. So what are the types of the asexual reproduction? Types of asexual reproduction. The first, that is fission. Second, that is budding. Then spore formation. Then is fragmentation. Then regeneration. And vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation. So these are the types of asexual reproduction in which only one parent involvement is there, and the sex cells that are not produced by the parent organism. So now first, that is fission. Now what is fission here? Fission means the splitting of the parent organism. The splitting of the parent organism to form the daughter organisms. Okay, so this is known as the fission. Means the splitting. Splitting of the parent organism. Now fission, it is also of two types. First, that is binary fission. First is binary fission, and second, that is multiple fission. First is binary fission and second, that is multiple fission. Means in case of binary fission, bi means two here. Okay, what is the meaning of bi here? Means two. When the parent organism, it will split to form the two daughter organisms. Okay, here when the parent organism split to form two daughter organisms. And in case of the multiple fission, when more than two organisms that are formed from the parent organism. That is more than two daughter organisms. More than two daughter organisms that are formed. Now what are the examples in case of the binary fission? In case of binary fission, the examples that are amoeba, Paramecium and Leishmania. And in case of the multiple fission, what are the examples? Like Plasmodium. Plasmodium, it is an example of the multiple fission. Now we will discuss these examples of fission in detail. So students, we were discussing about the fission. What is fission? Fission means the splitting of the parent organism to form the daughter organisms. So now first, that is binary fission. So first we will discuss about the amoeba. What is amoeba? Amoeba, it is a unicellular organism and it is of irregular shape. It is of irregular shape, having the nucleus, and this is the cytoplasm. Now how the binary fission, it occurs in the amoeba? When the amoeba, it fully grows, okay, means when the full grown amoeba will be there, then first of all the nucleus of the amoeba, it divides. First of all, the nucleus of the amoeba, it divides. Then after that, the cytoplasm also divides. And then it results into the formation of the two daughter amoeba cells. So this is about the binary fission in amoeba. So as the two daughter amoebas that are produced, so that's why it is an example of the binary fission. Now next we will discuss about the paramecium. What is the structure of the paramecium? Like this. And this is the mouth here, having the cilia over it. This is having the cilia. In between the nucleus that is present. So like amoeba only, first of all when the grown, means the body, it will be full grown. Then first of all nucleus, it will divide, and then the cytoplasm, it also divides. First nucleus, then cytoplasm, and then it results in the formation of the two paramecium cells. Two paramecium daughter cells. So in this manner, this is also an example of the binary fission. Now next we will discuss about the Leishmania. Leishmania, it has a whip-like structure. It has a whip-like structure. Why? Because it is having a flagella over it. It is having a flagella over it. and always the division it occurs from the longitudinal manner. Okay, always the division it occurs from the longitudinal manner in case of the Leishmania. Why? Because it is having a whip-like structure. So, in the longitudinal manner, when the fission will be there, then it forms like this. So, first nucleus divides and then cytoplasm, and it results into the formation of two Leishmania daughter cells. Okay. So now, what is the difference in relation to the fission in both the cases? Means in case of amoeba, Paramecium and Leishmania. In case of amoeba and Paramecium, the fission it occurs in any plane. It occurs from any plane. But in case of the Leishmania, the fission it occurs only from the longitudinal plane. Okay. Here it occurs from any plane. Any plane means the fission it can be from this side, it can be from this side, it can be from this side, or it can be from this side. In any plane the fission it occurs. But in case of the Leishmania, only in the longitudinal manner. And this question that is very important, that what is the manner of fission in case of the Leishmania. And in case of Paramecium also, the fission it occurs from any plane, from this plane also, from this plane also, from this plane also. Okay, so this is all about the binary fission in amoeba, Paramecium and Leishmania. Now next we will discuss about the multiple fission in case of Plasmodium. Plasmodium, it is also known as a protozoa. What is the structure of the Plasmodium? Like this, having a nucleus, and it is a unicellular organism. Okay, in case of amoeba, Paramecium and Leishmania, they were also unicellular, and the Plasmodium it is also unicellular organism and having a nucleus, cytoplasm and the cell membrane. Now what happened, that under the unfavorable condition, then the cyst it forms over it. This is known as cyst. Okay. So under unfavorable conditions, this cyst means it is a protective wall. It forms over the structure of the cell. Okay. Means over the cell, a protective layer that is known as cyst, it forms. Then what happens? The nucleus first of all, it divides, and each nucleus it contains a bit of cytoplasm over it, and forming thousands of nuclei with having a bit of cytoplasm over it. Okay, means when the fission occur it in this nucleus, then what happen? Then this nucleus it divides to form the many nucleus, and you can see in this diagram also that many nuclei they will form with having a bit of cytoplasm over it. So when during the favorable conditions, under the favorable conditions, now what is the difference between here, that favorable and unfavorable? Favorable means that getting the favorable light, temperature, okay, moisture, so these conditions. But unfavorable conditions means when the conditions that are unfavorable to grow. So under that condition cyst form, protective wall forms, but when the again the favorable conditions appear, then this cyst it will get break down, releasing the thousand of the nuclei. Okay, and each nucleus with having a bit of cytoplasm over it, they will form a new organism. Now all of you know that the Plasmodium, it is responsible for causing the malaria. Okay, and what is the vector here? That is Anopheles mosquito, which act as a vector for transmitting the disease, for transmitting the protozoa Plasmodium from one organism to the another organism, from the infected one to the healthy organism. So as here in this example, more than 2 organisms that are formed from the parent organism. So that's why it is known as the multiple fission.